Alright, welcome guys, welcome to another video. So I'm not gonna even I'm not even gonna drag the video. I'm pretty sure you guys know what just happened, bro. That video went crazy, bro. So many of you guys, or it's not you guys, like if you're a real member, you're really one of my boys, you're really one of my girls out there, you're really with me. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys really stood there. You guys really fought there for me. But anyways, yeah. So my latest video on it might not be my latest video by the time I post it, but for now, like, it's May 9th and I posted it like 3 days ago. So my video that I posted on why Natufians and ancient Egyptians couldn't have been black, it's gotten a lot of criticism. Like, a lot of people didn't even like it, but it's good though, because it got a lot of people talking. A lot of people are kind of interested in it. And so, like, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be responding to a lot of the comments that I got in there, because whenever I post a video on these topics, like the same thing happened with my video last year I posted, like almost a year ago from yesterday, I posted a video on are East Africans black, and the same thing happened to my comment section. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to milk out this content, so you guys are going to be like, you guys should be happy, because I'm finally consistent posting. So you know what I got for you? I got my the same thing happened in the last video. I should probably turn that off. But yeah, I got my I should really turn that off. Let me do that. But anyways, yeah, I got my computer with me. At this computer, my noble computer, my trusty handy computer. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be looking at the analytics, we're gonna be looking at the comments, and we're just gonna be responding to them. Both comments, I'll be honest, there were some comments that are insightful, but I'm also gonna be taking the piss out of those people who are just like commenting the most ridiculous stuff under my comment. Like, it's just so crazy. One thing that I want to mention to you guys. So I don't know if you guys can see. I'll probably have a picture, right? But like my video I can see the analytics, right? I've gotten over 300 comments and like 60 likes, the most dislikes I've ever gotten on a video, probably. And the same thing happened with my We Was Kangs video. The average view duration is like 3 to 4 minutes, right? It's 3 minutes, 1.55. Most of it when like the first few days, it was like between 4 and 5 minutes. That video I posted was a 25-minute video. And so the point that I want to make is that, like, bro, a lot of people just spurred out in my comments and didn't even watch the full video, so they don't even actually know what I'm saying. And the same thing happened with my We Was Kangs video, when I was just like explaining like the difficulties of like being an African in America, in the Western world, and like racism, and like kind of like almost self-hatred that you end up facing, hatred that you face just because like the color of your skin and like being African, whatever. A lot of people, they like people on the internet are so weird, bro, because they'll see the title of your video and they'll see the thumbnail and they'll get triggered. They won't even watch your video. They'll just come on your video to comments and to kind of like degrade your character. Not even just degrade it, just to like say something, because since your video doesn't agree with their narrative, especially, they won't even like hear you out. They'll just comment anything inside under your video. So there's like a lot of unintelligent, not very smart, not very bright people that are on the internet, and I'm pretty sure that we all know that. But like, I hope that you are not one of them. If you're watching this video, I'm talking to you, bro. You probably already commented in my comment section like a dumbass, because fucking like viewers, like, you know what I mean? I'm talking to you, bro. Why do you do this, bro? I mean, it's cool though, because you're making me ad revenue and you're making my videos more popular. But like, like maybe you want to actually use it, Alright, so like, I'm pretty sure you guys might have noticed as well, if you're watching this video, or if you've been subscribed to me for a little while, that this is probably the most active I've been in the comment sections ever. Like, it's honestly kind of nice though, because it's kind of nice because like I'm interacting with you guys more. But yeah, so let me go and look through some of them, right? Some of them that I read, I might read to you guys. I probably already responded to them, but I'll just read them again just for the sake of the video. First one I'm going to address is the one person saying Nilotes are the original black people of North Africa and East Africa, but Bantus won't hear none of that. Now, number one, like, I don't know why you have to bring Bantus into the situation, but I have nothing but love for my Bantu brothers. There was actually you guys might actually, there was a comment, I might even just like bring it up, tell the editor to bring it up somewhere. There was some guy who was saying like, oh, I'm Kenyan, and like, you Nilotes hate Bantus, and we will never be related to you Nilotes. Like, he was basically saying like Nilotes are being racist to Bantus, but like, he was doing the opposite in my comment. It was, I don't know, it was weird. I didn't even mention, I don't even think oh yeah, I did mention Bantus in the video. But yeah, also, Nilotes are not the original people of North Africa. I'd say even for East Africa, it's kind of a weird thing, right? Because it's not like we're the only, like, we're the original people and everybody else is invaders. Like, the way that whoever you are, like, nothing against you, bro, but the way that you framed the sentence is kind of like, it's problematic, right? Because there are other people, like Omotic people, Cushitic people, they've been in East Africa for a very long time, and they just have admixture from other populations, right? The East African hunter-gatherer populations that have been in there for a very long time. It's not only Nilotes who are like the only real indigenous people of East Africa. And for North Africa, I've done videos, I forgot what it was called, Ancient Nilotic Roots in North Africa, or like the ancient North African ancestor of the Nilotes, or North African origins of Nilotes. That's like, yeah, like I still believe, I don't like take anything back, but it's more like, how do I even that's not where we originated from, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, we lived there like thousands and thousands of years ago, before ancient Egypt and like all that type of stuff, but there were other populations such as the ancestral North Africans, who I'd assume would have been there for a very long time. Our main ancestry is like East African based. It's not really just North Africa. So like, you'll see like there are sites, you should really watch that video for more context and like, yeah, just context in detail, because it's gonna be like, to explain that, it's just gonna take a whole lot of videos. But there were other populations such as the ancestral North Africans and the Eurasian like populations. They came in very long, like during the Paleolithic period, so like at a minimum 10,000 years ago. And so that's just certain things that I would like caution you with saying with like a statement like this. It's not like Nilotes are the original North Africans or East Africans and like that's everyone else's invaders. I don't know if you wanted to frame it that way, but it's just the way that it comes off. So yeah. Another person said, I think you should talk to Mr. Imhotep and Kwali Meka. You missed the mark on some of on your criticism of some of their work. And you know, actually, like for Mr. Imhotep, like I've seen his videos for a very long time. I feel like his video specific, I won't talk really too much about Kwali Meka because I don't really know too much, like I haven't watched too much of his content. Like I've seen his video, like I'll explain about that. But like Mr. Imhotep, like I used to be like I don't know if people like under this video don't notice, I used to be an Afrocentrist, you know? Like whenever I say like these Afros, like I might title my videos a certain way and like it sounds like like I hate like these Afrocentrists are like, you know, but like I used to be the Afrocentrist, you know? So like I used to follow Mr. Imhotep on Instagram. I used to think the things that he did, and now that I look at it, I feel like it's just half true that he says a lot in his videos. So a lot of his videos about the Natufians, I feel like it's half truth or like stretching the truth to like fit his like narrative or like whatever. So like calling the Natufians black, you know, like I've already addressed the arguments inside of the video. You know, certain things like that, like saying like, oh, because they had prognatism, a few sub-Saharan features, genetically we already know they miss everything completely. But then look at what he'll put for his reconstruction of I think that black man, that Niger Congo construction of that Natufian skull, that's what he did, right? So like it's almost like he's been given an engine, he went a mile with it. And for Kwali Meka, I haven't watched way too much of his content, but even with him, I remember when Metatron first posted his videos about are the ancient Egyptians black, the truth. I remember I was like going to Walmart and I was like shopping with my mom and I was like listening to the video while I was like doing it when he first posted that video. I did not like Metatron. I did not like Metatron's video. Because like I still believed that the ancient Egyptians were black at the time, you know. I still had that like way of thinking. And so when Kwali Meka first posted his response, I actually agreed with a lot of the points, and I still agree with some of them now, right? Like with the Cleopatra thing, Cleopatra being black. Like obviously I know that like a lot of serious Afrocentric scholars, at least for now, right, like Kwali Meka, I'd consider him like more serious. He doesn't claim that Cleopatra was black. I didn't, you know, I didn't claim Cleopatra was black, you know. So there's like different levels to it, because you know we can categorize people as like Eurocentric or whatever, like this centric, whatever. There's obviously gonna be like ignorant people and then like that, and then the people who actually push forward the more intellectual, smarter people of the movement, you know. And so yeah, like I agree, like taking people from Twitter who obviously don't know what they're just people on Twitter, right? They're obviously not going to say the most intelligent. It's not going to be like the best way to represent the Afrocentric arguments, you know, which I'm pretty sure with Kwali Meka is things like the Nakata code, which I also believe like when people bring that up, I don't know about Kwali Meka, but with people in my Discord server who like try to argue with me, they almost like kind of stretch it. It's like a mention because they try to call the Nakata people Nubians when like I don't really think they were. Like maybe they would have had some relationships with Nubians, obviously, because they were like the southern half of of like what was Egypt at the time. But to say that they were Nubians and like, you know, all this type of stuff, I feel like it's just a stretch of the truth. And yeah, like a lot of the argument, I feel like it's just gonna be like okay, like I'll address one, right? I feel like it deserves its own video really, but like when people say that they came from the south, like Puntland or like stuff like that, right? I feel like that has more to do with like, if there's any truth, it probably has something to do with Afro-Asiatic languages rather than like all the Egyptians coming from the south and like coming through, like, you know what I mean? I believe that most Egyptians in the earlier periods would have had like high amounts of Natufian like ancestry, and the Nakada, if I'm being very generous or if I'm being nice or being honest, they probably would have had some level of East African related ancestry, whether that would be related to Cushitic people or Nilotic people, you know, like it's pretty much kind of the same thing, because it would just be like East African mixed with Eurasian. They would add a little bit amount of that, you know. The amount exactly, I'm not really sure, but it probably would have been lesser than what the Nubians had. And we have a Nubian sample that's like more Eurasian than it is East African, you know. So and then we also have like unpublished Old Kingdom samples that are high in Natufian and just have no sub-Saharan ancestry at all. So like I told someone, I think I told this to exact person, you have to ask how that would translate into that like time and that period and whatever. So yeah, you know, we just kind of need more samples and, you know, more data to really like kind of know exactly how things would have been like. But for the majority, I feel like Metatron was right, which was that the civilization would have obviously been have some, you know, diverse elements into it, but to claim it at the whole civilization as black, people will try to, you know, like, it's just I don't really agree with it. We can say that we've like black people or people with a significant amount, like some amounts of sub-Saharan ancestry definitely played a role, but to say that the whole, you know, like yeah, it's just I don't think it would really work. And to have these facial reconstructions of people, especially from later periods, looking like black people, looking like Niger Congo people or like Nilotes or like whoever, like it just doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense, especially knowing that Nubians themselves had a lot of Eurasian related ancestry, some of which they even got from the Egyptians, you know what I mean? So okay, there's another comment from a person, a YouTuber called I don't even I'm not even gonna try. I'll leave his thing up, but he actually had some really good points, you know. And he said that Metatron did a video where he stated there was substantial black Africans in Carthage, however didn't use that same process. Okay, can you guys see me? Am I good? All right. No, my phone just died. Worst timing ever, but my phone has never died. I don't remember any time my phone has never died mid recording. Like that was actually kind of scary, bro. Huh? Why is it not, bro? Why is it not ending the recording, bro? But yeah, so he said Afrocentrics aren't completely wrong. The ancient Egyptians were predominantly dark skinned, however they were racially admixed and there was a substantial so-called black African type element to them. The same applies to the Natufians. Now here's the thing, I might kind of disagree, kind of agree, kind of disagree. Was there like a black type? Were there black people in ancient Egypt? Yes, I obviously know that, and I'll probably leave a couple of like art screenshots of stuff that I kind of know. Now he did also show me that there was apparently some like bones that they found in the site just south of Luxor from prehistoric Egypt that was kind of similar to the Wadi Halfa remains in Jebel Saba. So this would be people like basically early East African people. Some of these people have gone like proto-Nilotic, you know what I mean? But yeah, so, you know, my people, you know what I mean? We was kings, bro. I was Egyptian, we was Egyptians, you know. I'm joking, but anyways, yeah. So there is some proof for that, you know, for the opposite type of thing. Now I forgot to see how old they were, but they were prehistoric, so you know it would kind of explain again that some of the ancient Egyptians from the Nakada period, early Upper Egypt, would have some level of like, you know, like sub-Saharan African ancestry, which, you know, I don't deny, but what's it called, bro? That wouldn't obviously like, that wouldn't be the majority of their ancestry, obviously, and that because that's not even the case for like the Nubian sample that we have. You know, obviously the problem is best represent their like that part of the ancestry, the Cushitic or Afro-Asiatic part, is best represented by Somalis. So there might be a little bit more than what was found in that like one single sample, but we have a sample from Upper Nubia that has more Eurasian ancestry than it does sub-Saharan African. And as far as ancient Egyptians being dark skinned, I actually don't disagree, because, you know, I think even Zai Hawass like admitted it, right? And he's the one who we know doesn't like Afrocentrism, and he has like he admits it, right? Even he admits, okay, yeah, like ancient Egyptians would have had darker skin. Yeah, but like obviously some people I'm not saying you, but some people in my server have like debated with, talked with about this, they equate having dark skin to equaling black, which like it just doesn't really work. So yeah, there's just like a bunch of stuff different to it. Was there African elements in ancient Egypt? Yes, you know, but was the civilization African? I mean, yeah, was it black, sub-Saharan? Like, no, but is there like some influence? Yeah, I can accept that. I'm okay with that. The other thing too, where I feel like it's kind of tricky, because when you give not you, but like some people in the like Afrocentric community like an inch with this, if you say that oh yeah, there was some level of sub-Saharan African, they'll like take that and they'll be like you know, they'll take that and go a mile with it, because then you give them that, and then all of a sudden now ancient Egyptians are like all invaders now and like whatever, and they're not the original ancient Egyptians, you know, which is like, obviously look, they're not going to be 1000% the same, right? Like me, I'm South Sudanese, but like I don't know, if 3000 BC, like Dinkas were not in South Sudan, right? Dinkas did not live in South Sudan in 3000 BC, so it's like, you know, it's almost kind of like you know what I mean, like whatever. But yeah, I feel like probably the better thing to look at is like ethno-linguistic groupings and like genetic studies, you know, that will kind of like show you, not even just with Egypt, like it's just with other areas, especially surrounding Egypt. Like that's why, like, since I know a lot about Nubia, I can use what I know about Nubia to kind of like translate what would have been going on in Egypt. And the same thing you can do for the Middle East, same thing you can do for other parts of North Africa, like Morocco. I mean, Morocco, right? 15,000 years ago, we have Ibero-Mauritans who are like, what, like 36% sub-Saharan African, like, and then the rest of their DNA is just Natufian, like. And that comes, you know, from that Paleolithic back migration, which comes from a Zodzuana-like population that's also ancestral to, you know, Natufian populations as well. So if you got that going on in North Africa 15,000 years ago, on the opposite end of where Eurasian ancestry would have entered from, you gotta ask, okay, yeah, like in ancient Egypt, you know, like obviously they could have been people with sub-Saharan ancestry, obviously, but like how much, you know, you gotta like you gotta kind of like theorize, and you gotta take these things into consideration, you know. So like to make the Eurasian elements seem as tiny and small as possible, it just doesn't work, because we have the like Tafrols, who literally like challenges you. Kadruka literally challenges you. The fact that the Natufians, Israel is a country that borders Egypt, that challenges you whenever you have like that type of you know, hypothesis or like whatever you want to, you know what I mean. So it's just a lot that we have to take into consideration. And now that I think of it, I think I had a video that it's not uploaded at the time of this recording, but it's like do we need more ancient samples? And I did say that we didn't. Obviously we do, but my kind of whole thing about it was like, guys, obviously there would have been a heavy Eurasian components in the ancient Egyptians that you just can't avoid, right? And even with the samples that we have, again, the Old Kingdom sample just having no sub-Saharan ancestry, the Middle Kingdom sample having just a little bit of sub-Saharan ancestry, and then everything after that, the New Kingdom sample in later periods, it's like it's just hard to prove. If anything, what I could imagine what Nakata would look like is what some Southern Egyptian samples look like today, where they have like between like 20% sub-Saharan African ancestry, 20 to 30% sub-Saharan African ancestry, maybe mid-30s if I'm being generous. That's what I could imagine for Nakata, because Nubians, they only have like 40 something. Nubians, they only had like 40 something. And Nubians today, in terms of their like African Eurasian split, aren't really too different from the ancient ones. There was obviously the ancient Nubians who would have been like more like me, more Nilotic like, and would have obviously had a way higher, you know, sub-Saharan African ancestry depending on the area and the time. But with Egypt, you just have limited amounts of that influence, because the only people they would have been able to get that influence from was either people like me or from like the Nubians who lived directly south of them, who already had like a bunch of like Eurasian, ancient North African like ancestry, you know. Another one kind of funny, just 3 coon emojis. F you too, bro. Like, whatever, why'd you watch the video, you know? Alright, another one that's kind of important to the one is someone said, Bior, do you consider yourself black? And what does black mean to you? Now, this might be a little bit controversial, but I don't even really care. It is what it is, right? I feel like with black, okay, you can almost kind of identify it as like anything. Bro, you guys will not believe. You will not believe what just happened, bro. My phone was running out of storage. Today's just the worst day for recording. I swear to God to you, bro. right when I'm trying to be consistent as well. But yeah, the way I'd kind of define black is just kind of like, you have to look at kind of like anything outside of the Eurasian bottleneck. And not even just that, but like there's just like so many different things that I go into. I did a video, it was like the problem with the race debate on ancient Egypt. So there's like a bunch of different stuff like culture and society. So like in America, you have like the 1 drop rule. So like like if someone's like 20-30% black, you just call them black or something like that, right? But essentially, like, it's either having like sub-Saharan ancestry, a combination of like skin and like hair. Hair is a big one. Like if someone has the hair, you know, whatever. And as far as ancient Egyptians go, some people was like, oh, but ancient Egyptians had pigs, you know, but like Egyptians today can have curly hair, like Arabs can have curly hair, like it's not really like anything new. But yeah, but especially if your hair is like 4 type, you know, then that's like a different story. But yeah, like, so if you look at African DNA, you just have different people. You have like the East African shift, which would be like Nilotes. You have the West African shift. Then you have like the hunter-gatherers, so people like the Khoisan. And then like other genetic parts that like you know, people are like Eurasian people, Eurasian genetic influence. Everyone else in Africa just falls in between that. And so when people say like Africa is the most genetically diverse continent, yeah, it is. But like when you put it this way, it kind of like puts things in perspective. Like, okay, like if you have these different like zones, these different like lines that, you know, people and like everyone just falls under, like in between some of these clans. Some people are a mix of many different things, right? This will kind of help you understand why, and it'll help you like simplify, right? So that's just some Buer logic right there, right? Give me some explosions, editor, right? But yeah, so that's pretty much like how I categorize black. So if you have anything that's sub-Saharan ancestry, which is basically everything that I just described, just with the exception of the Eurasian component, and even there are sub-Saharan Africans with the Eurasian component inside of them, Fulanis, who else have Eurasian, bro? Give me some ideas. You know, just like Sahelian people. Everyone really has some level of Eurasian, but these are people especially who are like higher Eurasians. Tuaregs, they're like kind of like black, and we'd call them black as Americans, you know. Horn Africans, Ethiopians, Somalis, you know, the deals, Nubians, Sudanese, Arabs in general. But also like it depends on like the society, because like you could be just a tiny bit of black in America, we'd call you black because there's like that 1-drop rule thing, and that's because of like that's how you know, English people, that's how the Americans had it set up. But I also heard that like with the Spanish, they had more of like a caste system. They believed that you could almost breed out the blackness, or, you know, like purify someone from their race by making them more white. So it's like really like a case by case scenario, but I guess it's just from my perspective. All right, this one is just kind of funny. It says, my guy, Somali people of now, some are mixed with whitish Caucasians who come from Yemen. People, but Somali tribe is an African people with melanin. What is black means, even Yemen's part of Ethiopia. Oh my god. You see, like, no offense to you, bro, but like every now and then I'll get like comments like this, and it's just so like, they're like funny to read, bro, because people will say things that are just so obviously incorrect. It's just, you can't even take people like serious. But yeah, Somalis are not, like, Somalis do have like some Yemeni, like some can have, but like on average, like not really, you know what I mean? Like the majority, like their West Eurasian ancestry comes from an Natufian like population that lived in North Africa thousands of years ago. What's interesting about Yemen though is that there are groups in Yemen with the highest amounts of Natufian related ancestry, so I guess, you know, it's just like something to keep in mind. But it's not like Somalis were black Africans and then like they mixed with the they mixed with Yemeni people and then all of a sudden became mixed. Like that's just inaccurate. And also Yemen is not a part of Ethiopia. I know there were like some historical kingdoms like within like southern Arabia and the Axumites, and they like may have battled, maybe even, I don't know if they controlled certain parts of each other's territories, but I mean nothing that I really know about. You know what I mean? Maybe if I do more video, I have a homie actually who knows more about that, so maybe I can ask him. Alright, now we got my boy Afrocentrism Critiqued, or his name now is Gamal Nasser TV, and he says, it's funny how the people with the highest Natufian related ancestry on our continent, like Coptic Egyptians, Sudanese Arabs, the Habesha people, clearly look at mixed, and phenotypically they look nothing like black Africans that have none of this Neolithic influence in their genome. And yeah, that's like the big point. Like when people tell me like Natufians were black, like, and then you look at the people inside of Africa with that type of ancestry related to them, they just look completely different. And I'm just like like this reconstruction plus this guy, so this disastrous Niger-Congo-fied reconstruction of Natufian plus this like Mesolithic Nubian man, right, doesn't create like a Nubian or like a Somali or like anybody, right? I don't know where the logic just isn't there. And then people will like kind of go, like, I have some of my like, look bro, if you're watching this, bro, I don't mean to offend you or anything, like it's nothing, right? But it's just like people will say like, oh, but like people's phenotype today doesn't necessarily mean that back then they would have looked the same. And it's like genotype and phenotype, you know, like how did genetics influence people's phenotype? It's like, yeah, like sure, but like, bro, how long is a piece of string? You get what I'm saying? Like they, like those looser features so obviously did not come from the East African side. I'm a Nilo-Saharan. I'm Nilotic. I'm like, I did my own DNA. Really watch that video I did on my DNA test with Illustrative, whatever. I'm like very, very Nilo-Saharan, and I look nothing like you're not gonna get a straighter nose. You're not gonna get straight nose. You're not gonna get thin lips. You're not gonna get lighter skin. You're not gonna get looser curls from me. That's just not happening, bro. You know, if I had a kid with like an Arab, that child would look Horn African. If I, like, you know, or like with the white, like that kid would look Horn African. That kid would also like cluster with them, right? That's like, and then like, you know, like imagine if someone asking like challenging, you know, like it's just so common sense, you know. But it's just like, since it happened so many years ago, people have the room to like make up BS theories, you know what I mean, to make up bullshit theories that, oh, maybe they possibly could, you know what I mean. It's just because it happened so long ago, people actually can have, you know, and people can argue on the dark skin. Again, they've been given an inch and now they're going a mile with it. Could people have been darker skin? Yeah. Could you imagine an Ethiopian with like a little bit of curls? Like, yeah, probably. But like, be real with yourself, bro. Be for real. Be for real, bro. It's just, yeah. That was a really good point, bro. And another thing that I wanted to mention, that's why like with some of the Afrocentric communities, having the Egyptians and like some populations having high Natufian ancestry is a problem for them in their claims of them being Black African, because that's why they have to claim Natufians. Like I think Egyptologist 7, I'm not really a fan too much of her videos. I don't really watch her that much, but like I remember I watched a couple of her videos, and she said like, this is the reason why they want to claim Natufians, right? And every now and then I'll get like comments like this, and it's just so, they're like funny to read, bro. She is absolutely right, because there's absolutely no reason why to really claim them. The only reason, like, there's just kind of like no, like they're not really relevant to like anything going like that happened to, you know what I mean, anywhere else. So the motivations, I always tell you, like the motivations are so obviously clear, especially since we have so many ancient North African samples that are high in Natufian like or Levant like ancestry. And it's not me saying that they were the Levantines, you know what I mean? People also misunderstand this. It's just me saying that they were related to those people. I have another comment: dig into your history deeper. My friend, I have done that. And you know, it's kind of weird, like I've actually had like I don't know, like it's my first time I don't even think I mentioned this to people inside of my server, but it's like I've been kind of having like kind of almost like not mental health problems, but like, yeah, kind of, where it's just like and you look into the history of like your people, and like you just hear a lot of bad things, you know. Things like slavery, maybe we weren't as like advanced, or like just, you know, negative things people wrote about us. It's not really like very fun. It's not really fun to hear or listen to, getting dissed or whatever. But obviously we have our own accomplishments too. I've made a video talking all about the Dinka accomplishments. It's called a history of the Dinka people, tallest people in the world. So, you know, like we have like our wins and losses, and I think that's what everyone kind of knows that. Like there was this guy called Ancestral Brew. I used to like watch some of his videos, and I used to be on his lives, and he used to mention how like he used to be so like devastated. Like there's a lot of people kind of got from his like era. He's like Persian, he's Iranian, and he just would be like devastated when he would read about what the Mongols did to his people when they invaded Persia. You know what I mean? Which is kind of a, like interesting parallel. One of the biggest Dinka accomplishments was like invading and conquering the medieval kingdom of Soba, and like occupying it, controlling it or whatever. And we were technically like kind of like people of the region, right, of the Jazeera region. So it's not like we were like a completely foreign people, but we were called the Tartars of Sudan. And the reason why we were called the Tartars of Sudan, which is like the Tartars are like a sub-ethnic group of the Mongols, is because with like parallel to Persia. During the time that we invaded and conquered Soba, the same thing was happening to the Persians. The Persians were getting invaded and conquered by the Mongols, and I guess this was specifically the Tartars. So like they, like Arabs who wrote about us in those centuries, Nilotic groups in those centuries, they refer to us the Tartars of the Sudan, or the Tartars of the Negroes, the Tartars of the black people. So yeah, I mean, look, you see what I mean? Like, it's just so like you can have like your accomplishments, but then you could also have like those parts of history that you might not really want to be like, kind of, you're not so proud of, you know, that just happens for everyone. Like Europeans, you know, some of them, they might not really be proud for like oppressing people, colonialism. Some people might, you know, but like oppressing people, colonialism. But then, you know, Europe also has a lot of accomplishments. Like, I'm a really big fan of like medieval Europe. I really like it. I'm a really big fan of medieval history now as well. You know, ever since I've stopped being so Egypt, Nubia focused, medieval history has been like a thing that I really like, you know, the assassins, etc. So, you know, learning about your own history and the history of other people is kind of, we all have those parts of our history that are great and not so great, and it's okay like that, you know. But what I don't believe is going the super extreme where you're like, you only show the greatest parts and like everything you just ignore it, and then like, or you only focus so hard on like the bad parts, because everybody has that, you know. So yeah, like everybody, no matter who you are, no matter how great you think your history is, there is an ugly part about it that you just don't want to hear about. There's an ugly part that you won't like to know about, you won't like to hear about it. But if you really want to take your like dedication, your knowledge, your understanding of like history of yourself, your people, and just people in general more seriously, you're gonna have to face these like you're gonna have to face these things, you're gonna have to face these facts, you know. And so yeah, it's just, yeah, but yeah, anyways, like, long rant, but yeah, I've really dug deep into my own history. I've done a lot. All right, so there was a bunch of other like funny comments from like people who were just mad. I'll just leave them up here. I couldn't really address them all, but yeah, I think you're all clowns. I'm joking. But yeah, with that being said though, that is my response. So if you're really interested in talking with me more, you know, sales plug, join the Anthropology Africa School. The link is in the first thing in the bio. It's where I will be talking with you guys. You can just have Q&A calls with me, posting a bunch of courses, detailed comprehensive courses and videos, interviews, everything. We're going to be doing that, and I'm really trying to push this thing forward. So if you really want to help support me, the channel, and whatever, yeah, just join that. And if you can't, it's okay. Just give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. And yeah, with that being said, see you in the next video, bro. Not gonna lie, bro, the way that my phone was like giving me so many problems, I'm still super nervous about my phone giving me problems now. Like, just any moment right now, my phone can just go like I was like, first my phone died, and then like twice I ran out of storage and I had to delete a bunch of different things. I don't even know if the background looks different, but yeah, it's kind of whatever. But anyways, I'm about to go outside. I don't really have any big life updates for you. I'm taking my photos, and like probably sometime this weekend for my modeling thing. But the weird thing is that like by the time you see this video, it's probably already would have been done. But yeah, all I've really been doing is trying to keep my braids like kind of like organized, I guess, you know. And I need to really focus on my sleep, bro. Like, it's really bad. But yeah, flex. You can't really see my muscles in this. This is actually what I'm supposed to be wearing, but since I was recording a bunch of videos today, I was like, F it, let me wear it, bro. I gotta look nice, you know. But yeah, bro, let me stop yapping. Yeah, it was nice seeing you guys. Bye.